Hello YouTube, and welcome to another build video by your favorite gamer, Mr. Aproko, all the way from Nigeria. I've been playing with this build for a couple of days now, and trust me, I like the way everything works. I know for the bleed build, we normally used to have the status effect, but with this bleed build setup, I didn't have to have status effect on the build, but everything was still working very right. So without wasting much time, I'm gonna get you guys through the build. This is my clan quarters, the Nigerian elite. You know how I like to do my build videos. I always first walk you guys through the specialization of the build, and then we can get into the build proper. Oh, that's not where I'm going. Yeah, yeah. So first, before we get into the specialization, I want to show you this build. This couple of loot from the conflict. Just take them out of my. Oh, this mask is shit. I'm just gonna take. I've been looking for something like this. I'm just gonna roll it. There we go. I got something I need for my new. That's that. That's how it is. True Patriots. Nah. The True Patriots. Oh, this one is not bad. Take this off and construct everything else. Okay. So let's get into this build. So this is my Ridgeway ongoing directives build. Man, trust me, agent. This build is an absolute killer because I wasn't only bleeding the enemies, I was getting through content, and my teammate was getting the hollow point rounds in the process of the build working. This build is absolutely smashing. Like, I enjoyed every bit of it, and I want you to also share in my experience. That's why I'm bringing this build to YouTube. Before wasting much time, let's get right into the specialization. You all know when it comes to status effects, the survivalist is really the go-to specialization that you need to make everything work really well, and all of the buffs that you get from status effect is really on the survivalist, on your survivalist. So first of all, on the survivalist, you get 10% increased protection from elites. You get armor kits. Your armor kit now repairs over 5 seconds instead of instantly, but also applied to group members within 20 meters. This is very good. I swear to God, this build was working for a single solo play, but when I was playing with my team, everyone kept asking the question, yo, where am I getting this rounds from? And I was like quiet, like, yo, you got me. So you get the 40% increase in signature weapon damage, and you get the incendiary grenade, which applies burn to targets within the radius. That's very handy. And you also get 15% increase outgoing healing. That I know a lot of people don't think this counts, but it does count because for this build, I didn't have a lot of, when I was playing the first time, I didn't have a lot of ammo on the build. So but I still was able to get through content. So you distributed repair, we've talked about that. You get the elite defense, which means you're protected from elites. You get 50% increase outgoing healing. You get the incendiary grenades, which does burn, and you get the 40% increase in signature weapon damage. Um, killing enemies under status effect add 3 to the armor bar, except from signature weapons, which is very good for this build because I was constantly killing enemy on bleed, and that made my armor to like replenish over and over again. So we get this buff already, and then we are with the survivalist, you are also able to unlock the Seeker Mender Mine, which is gonna constantly heal you and your allies. So this the Mender Seeker Mine follows allies repairing their armor, and you get to unlock the mod to increase the Seeker Mine's healing. Plus, we get all of these outgoing healing from the survivalist specialization. We've talked about the status effects, and I rolled in 50% into my assault rifle because I was using the black market on this build, so that really came in handy too. And then we also unlocked the custom magazine for the assault rifle. I don't think I have this on my assault rifle, but I'm gonna look it up and um see how about that. And I also rolled in 15% to my side ham, and we also unlocked the survivalist D50 side hand weapon, which I'm gonna equip, and we have our shotgun, which is always good for close combat. And then the people in my allies get 10% bonus damage to target with status effect. Yo, this was very good for my teammates. And I really like the fact that I was doing giving all of those healing, giving all of that um, damage increase to status effect enemies, and then we also give 10% bonus damage to our allies, and we gain 5 armor per second for your current weapon while performing a cover to cover in combat. So this didn't really work for me because I normally don't play cover to cover, but that's for you just to know, just to put it out there for people who like playing cover to cover. The the survivalist is also good for that. And then while in cover, you also gain 10% skill haste. Yo, the survivalist is really good. I know the gunner is still my favorite, and then the firewall. I don't know what place to put the survivalist on the as in the scale of preference, but I enjoy the survivalist with the status effect build. If you really want to play status effect, the survivalist is the go-to for you to get all of those. And that is it about the specialization, the survivalist. So you guys can check it out and let me know what you think. And now let's get straight into the build. This is a very simple build. It doesn't come with a lot of doesn't come with a lot of exclusive pieces. I thought I logged the standard mag. Not yeah. So let's get into this build because I don't want to take too much time. We've already done 7 minutes into the video and I haven't shown you guys the build. So I'm going to try to walk you guys through this build as quickly as possible as I can. So for the specialization weapon, we have the crossbow. Bows detonate after a brief timer, doing damage to the surrounding area and reduces damage from named enemies while you're equipped. So the specialization of the survivalist allows you to unlock the crossbow, which does the damage of 3.7 million and a mag of 1. So, but while I was using this bow, I used this in a way where I would literally strike the named enemy or the boss, and then which allows me and my allies to do damage because it's under like a status effect. That was how I was using the crossbow in the gameplay. When we got to the boss fight, I would send my fire, like my burn, into the enemy premises, which allows more damage from me and my teammates. So the survivalist specialization allows you to unlock the explosive bolts talent, and it's a crossbow. I haven't put any expertise on it yet, but it's quite proficient already. So we also unlock the incendiary grenade, which does burn to the enemies in the blast and drains their health over time. I like that too, because normally a status effect was all over the place. So this grenade came in handy as well. And then let's talk about the weapons. We have the primary weapon, the black market. I tried playing with the I tried playing with the file saw. I also tried playing with the FAMAS. But at the end of the day, the Setemos really was slapping harder, even though he didn't have the saddest talent. But I was able to settle with the Black Market AKM. This weapon is not so stable, so I put some kind of accuracy on the suppressor on the muscle slot and accuracy on the barrel rail. So it kind of made the weapon to kind of balanced in a bit. If you see the gameplay, I was even complaining about how unstable it was, but It came with all of the attributes that I need. As the assault rifle damage, the health damage, and the damage that I had of cover. Plus, we get to roll in the talent status. This weapon came with everything as it is, so it's really perfect for the build, and I like playing with it. So we also have the mob on our side, on our um, the mob on our secondary weapon with the ammo kill mod over there, which was very good too for kills on close combat. Like we were killing like 2 3 enemies in less than minutes. So that was like a lot of buffs on the ammo and kill I was getting. And settings on the talent, which amplifies weapon damage to 20, by 20% to bleeding enemies. After 4 keys, apply bleed to the next enemy you hit. So the Sadist talent was really, really the perfect talent that I could have played this build with. So I also have the Sadist talent on my arrow. So and that's it for the primary and secondary weapon. And we also have the side arm, which comes with a pistol damage and damage target of cover. And this side arm also comes with a pivot sadist, amplifies weapon damage by 25% to bleeding enemies. Yo, this all of these weapons was just bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding and bleeding. I don't know. You can always have different talents that maybe an after effect of the bleed talent. I think I don't. Let's see some of the talent. I think this uh vindictive. So you can also have vindictive on this build. But when I was playing with vindictive on my garage, perfect vindictive, for some reason I wasn't getting the bleed buff. So I think that weapon is kind of broken because I wanted to play the SMG on this build when I was trying to make it put it together. So that's the primary, the secondary, and the side amp. And then we also rolled in the mask, the palisade mask for the ammo and kill we're getting because we weren't really getting a lot of ammo regen on these pieces. So the ammo and kill I was getting from the palisade steelworks was really, really they came in handy. And for that, we have the 10% ammo kill. For the core attributes, we have armor. And the attributes, we have critic damage and critic chance for the critic chance mod. So, and then the centerpiece of this build is the Ridgeway vest, the Ridgeway Pride. So we have weapon damage, critic chance, and critic damage with the critic damage mod. So the talent of this chess piece is what makes this build to work. That's why you see we didn't have to on this build, I didn't have to have a lot of status effect rolled into the attribute on at all because I was already like just getting bleed damage from the share piece. And I'm gonna explain everything how it works so you guys will understand what I was trying to do. So the bleeding hedge is the bleed talent. Shooting enemies within 15 meters applies bleed to the target. And then it also repairs 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within 15 meters. So what I do sometimes, even though I don't kill the enemies, I walk into the room, I bleed, I shoot into the enemy proximity, probably like four, get like 2 or 3 or 4 of them bleeding. So I'm healing. And then, it's just different ways I was working with a build, but this build was a survivor. It allowed me to survive a lot, and I was also doing a lot of bleed damage to the enemies. So that's the talent of this chess piece. And the repair strength, the repair is based off the strength. The strength of the repair is based off the bleeding number of bleeding enemies around you. So for one enemy, I just got a message. For one enemy, you get um 3% healing of repairs. And for two, you get 6%. For three, you get 12. For four, you get 24. And for five, you get 48. So you just have to find a way or you just bleed. Like I was also using my Stinger Hive on this build. So that way I was throwing my Stinger Hive into the enemy proximity and making them bleed and also getting that armor regen per seconds and repair that I was getting from the share piece. So this chess piece is really the centerpiece of this build. This chess piece talent is the reason I didn't have to have a lot of the chess piece combined with the ongoing directive was the reason I didn't have to have a lot of like ammo region on the build. So let's get into the ongoing directives and see what the ongoing directive does. So for one piece, for two piece, you get status effects. For three pieces, you get the reload speed. And four piece gives you the rules of engagement. So shooting a status affected enemy will apply a mark. Killing,
Oh, excuse me.
sorry about that. Killing a marked enemy grants you a full clip of hollow point ammo for your active weapon and have a clip of the agent's active weapon to the rest of the party. So what happens is that you get a full clip of hollow point ammo on your active weapon, and you get your agents and your allies get half the size that you got. So and the mark lasts for 10 seconds. And the hollow point armor amplifies weapon damage by 20% and applies bleed on hit. So not you're not only doing bleed from your share piece, but every time you get the hollow point rounds, you're doing bleed on the enemy, and the damage you're dealing on the enemy is amplified by 20%. So you're getting 20% amplified damage from the ongoing directives, and you're also getting 20%. So you're getting 40% um amplified weapon damage when all of the buffs are active on the build. When you the rules of engagement is active and your ridgeway vest is also active to deal damage to the enemies. So all of those 40% weapon damage we were getting, they didn't really necessarily I didn't need to have status effects rolled into the attributes of the build. So but everything was still working. And I also had to one of the most important part of this build was the backpack. Because you're not only getting the hollow point rounds and the amplified damage from the rules of engagement, the backpack talent is also called the trauma specialist. The trauma specialist increases the duration of your bleed status effect by 50% and whole bleed damage done by 100%. So imagine you're getting 40% already from from the hollow point armor, and you're also getting 20% from the sadis weapon. And then with this trauma specialist, all of this damage is amplified by 100%. Oh my word. And then your bleed status effect is also increased. The duration is increased by 50%. So you can see why we didn't have to have a lot of any status effect rolled into the attribute. Because we're getting 15% status effect from from the chess piece already. And that wasn't really a lot, but with all of the bleed duration and the bleed damage we're getting, plus we're sitting on a stats of like 114% on the crit damage. So I'm gonna try to replace um one of these mods. Oh, where am I gonna that's crit damage? I think I have another chess piece with chance. Did I go for this or I go? Let's go for this, and that's gonna put us at 1.3 mil. This is the exact way I was playing the build because now I'm sitting at like 50% crit chance and 103% on the crit damage. This is the way I was playing the build, and I was getting so much heals from the Ridgeway vest, and I was also getting ammo on kill from the Palisade mask, and all of the rules of engagement coupled with the Sadie's talent on the black market and the Ridgeway bleed damage. No. So when we shoot the enemy, we're not only doing bleed to them, but the backpack is also going to extend the duration of the bleed and also amplify the damage we're doing to those bleeding enemies. Um, the bleed damage by 100%. So this is a very simple build. I don't want the video to get too long, so I'm just gonna dive into the skills. I was using my striker drone because it was like an extra hand when I was playing solo. So that way I was striking the enemies, and some of the times it was sort of like a distraction to the enemies while I was getting through content. And then, like I always say, the shield is always your best friend when you play solo. The shield wasn't really doing a lot of work on this build, but I find myself in very tight situations a lot of times. So that's why I always try to have a bit of a defense mechanism in my build. And all of in this build, we're sitting at 1.3 mil on the armor, so that's not a lot. Plus, getting the buffs of the talent, you have to really get too close to the enemy to be able to achieve the bleed from the Ridgeway vest and get the rules of engagement to pop up on the ongoing directives. So this build might not really be a go-to for old players or core players, but for new players who are just getting into the game and they like to have fun, like to see your enemies run away from you while they're bleeding, this is the build that you want to go to and play with. So before I get hand with this, before I'm done with this video, I'm just gonna walk you guys through the stats of the video, and we're sitting at 124k on the base damage of the assault rifle, the black market, and we got 50% crit chance, and we got 103% crit damage, 75% headshot damage. Health damage was 21%. Ease, reload speed 1.8 seconds, 40% speed bonus, reload speed bonus, and we got 59% on all weapon damage bonus, which was in fact, I don't know how to put the numbers together, but if you can, you should be able to tell that all of this weapon was an absolute killer. Plus, I was getting the hollow point, I was doing bleed on the enemies, and my damage was amplified by 100%. Plus, the 40% I was getting from the Sadie's talent, and the Sadie's talent was 20%, and the, the amplified damage is 20% from the Sadie's, and we're also getting the hollow point round, which is also going to amplify our damage by 20%. And so that's 40% plus the 100% damage that we're getting from the backpack talent. You know, 100% damage done by bleed damage done by 100%. So every time you're shooting your weapon from the bleed you're getting on the chest piece and the backpack, duration, and all of the rules of engagement, this build is definitely a go-to build for new players who want to have fun. The enemies bleed in the process. We have the trauma specialist on the backpack. We have the bleeding edge on the chest piece. We have ammo on kill from the palisade. Then we have all of the ongoing directive buffs active, and then the talents on the backpack. We got 1.3 on the armor, 121k from the kill from the mask. All of these stacks are not really, they're basic. So guys, this is the build. This is more like a layman's video of a build, but I hope you guys get to try it out and play with it. And with that, I'm gonna say thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. I'll leave it as it is now. Try this build and let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know how it feels. If you have any suggestions on the build, don't forget to hit my comment. If you want to see highlights where I was playing with this build, hit my YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram, because I've been posting highlights of my gameplay all over there. But for this video, this is what it is. This is the Ridgeway ongoing directive build. that I'm gonna play with, that I've been playing with, and I'm still gonna play with it. But today, I'm gonna go for the negotiators. But for now, guys, try this build and let me know what you think. Have a good one.